Hey guys, today we're just going to get straight to the point. How to choose a multi-million AI automation agency niche in a way that's not going to make you want to throw your laptop out the window. I'm serious, there's going to be no overhyped buzzwords or any unrealistic promises here. I'm just talking about real, tangible ways to, pick a niche that's specific enough to land you clients and it's going to be broad enough to scale past seven figures. And I know firsthand how crucial this is. When I first got started in AI automation and I just spent way too much time agonizing over the perfect niche and, spoiler alert, there isn't one. But I found a method that's worked for me, and I've seen it work for everyone that I've mentored over the past few months. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. So to start off, why does niching down even matter? Well, when you dial into one niche, it's going to change one, who you work with, how to structure your deals, and what skills that you might actually need. So let's just be real. Being a generalist, it comes with a lot of hidden drawbacks. So speaking from personal experience, when you try to serve every single industry, you face massive operational drag. Every client engagement becomes wildly different. A dental office might need an inbound agent tailored to their specific industry, or a restaurant could want a custom voicemail agent, and a law firm might be looking for an invoice automation system. So, with such varied demands, you end up just constantly learning new industries instead of perfecting your service, perfecting that one thing. The first thing that you need to know when it comes to AI agents and automation, you can't be everything to everyone. So, you've probably heard the saying that if you try to serve everyone, you'll end up serving nobody. So, this is especially true here in this instance. So, businesses, they want specialists, not generalists. They want someone who deeply understands their specific problems and someone that can deliver precise solutions. And that's exactly where niching comes in. You have your own vertical. So just by focusing on one single niche, you can tailor your solutions to address anybody's specific pain points. You can speak that industry's language and actually resonate with their challenges, use the jargon that they likewise use. And you could also streamline your operations and scale even faster because the systems built for one niche can often just work across multiple clients in that same industry. Ultimately, niching down just helps you avoid any sort of analysis paralysis, if you will, or boiling the ocean, just ensuring that you have clear direction and efficient operations. Now, let me help you understand what agency scope might mean. So, agency scope, this might just sound some like corporate jargon, but I just want to simplify it really quick first. This is essentially going to be your game plan for an industry. So, this is going to be referring to specific verticals that you target, such as real estate, chiropractors, e commerce, whatever else, you name it. And two, the problem or solution type. So this focuses on the type of automation or AI solution, the agent that you're going to be providing, like AI calendar bot or lead generation system or AI recruiting system, whatever that may be. So think of your positioning statement now. So once you have whatever it is that you want to implement, so you could take your positioning statement. So you could say, I help automate prospecting for GTM teams. So something like this is solution and problem focused. Now, we could also say, I help dentists automate their manual work. This, for instance, is going to be industry focused. We can combine these to be industry and solution focused. So we could say, I help HVAC businesses automate client communication. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, if you will. But let's just break this down a little bit further. So, why might defining your scope be so critical? Well, it's not just about carving out a niche, it's also going to be about creating some sort of roadmap for every aspect of your business. This is going to tell you who to target in the sense that when you know exactly which industry and problem you are solving, you can zero in on the clients that need your expertise. So this clarity, it helps in crafting messaging that resonates deeply with your ideal customer. I might refer to it as. So how to structure deals? Well, a focused scope, this will enable you to standardize processes, pricing, and service packages. So the standardization, it just leads to a more predictable operation and really less time spent reinventing the wheel for every new client. Now, this will also help you determine what skills to prioritize. So, knowing your agency scope, this helps you decide where to invest your time in learning or hiring. So, if you're targeting dental offices with automation for appointment scheduling, you'll want to build expertise in healthcare compliance and patient communication and specific dental practice challenges. And with these fundamentals in place, let's just transition to how this defined scope can actually shape your messaging. So that brings me to number two. Now, your agency scope, this is going to be the cornerstone of your strategic positioning. It'll shape your marketing efforts by one, crafting a unique value proposition. So anything with a clearly defined niche, you can pretty much articulate exactly why a prospect should choose you over some generalist competitor. And this is going to be the difference between saying I do everything, I do it all, and saying I solve your unique or I solve your specific problem. So value is created where pain is alleviated. Just remember that. Tailoring your communication. So when you speak the language of your chosen industry or problem area, suppose we could say, you're building credibility relatively quickly. So your content, your case studies, and client testimonials become more relatable and convincing to potential clients. And building on your messaging, the next step is to just focus on operational efficiency and how it actually supports your agency scope. So number three, operational efficiency and scalability. Now, when your agency scope is well defined, you're going to be in a strong position to standardize your processes and scale with confidence. So for that first part, being standardizing your processes, instead of just learning from scratch for each and every client, you can develop systems that work across multiple clients within that same niche, as I said earlier. And this just makes onboarding faster and service delivery way more consistent. Now, for scaling with confidence, with these streamlined processes and a deep understanding of some specific market, whatever that is for you, scaling just becomes less risky. So you can replicate success across similar clients and even package your services into repeatable models that just drives some sort of predictable growth for you guys. But moving on from that, let's just consider the flexibility needed to adapt to market changes. So, number four, flexibility with focus. Now, a well-defined agency scope doesn't necessarily mean that you can't innovate or pivot. Rather, it just gives you a robust starting point. So expand methodically. Once you have proven success in one niche, you can just use that foundation to branch out. So for example, if you excel at lead generation for dental offices, you might expand into adjacent healthcare sectors with similar needs. Or you could also adapt to market shifts. So when changes occur, you're better prepared to adjust your solutions without losing the core of what actually makes you specialized, what's giving you guys that vertical, if you will. With this adaptive approach in mind, it's important to also focus on building enduring relationships with any of your clients. To put it simply, a clear agency scope just fosters trust and loyalty over time. Now, this really just segues into niche expertise. So this is where clients are going to be more likely to commit to an agency that understands their vertical, clearly understanding their industry's nuances. So this is naturally going to lead into longer term relationships and build your reputation as some sort of specialist, some sort of expert. Also within referral networks. So as you become known for your expertise within a specific niche, your satisfied clients can also become powerful advocates for you, just referring you to others within the same industry. So from targeting the right clients and crafting tailored messaging to streamlining operations and adapting to market shifts, you're going to be well equipped to move on to strategies that actually ensure your solutions are going to be both specific and scalable for your company. So that brings me to number three, the myth of the perfect niche, as I like to call it. So, just raise your hand if you've ever wasted so many hours, precious hours, just reading about the top 10 AI niches to make you a millionaire. Guilty as charged, right? I've been there, I've done that too. And here's the truth. There is no single best niche for everybody. And look, you want to pick a direction that's going to serve a growing market because, more businesses popping up each year in your market, it just means more potential clients for you. You also want to find something that's going to offer tangible outcomes. And whether this is lead generation, recruiting, or, some other sort of measurable improvement, your solution should clearly boost revenue or save time. And lastly, you want to pick a direction that's, somebody who's already investing in this sorts of stuff. So if companies are already hiring agencies or consultancies in your chosen area, then that's a strong signal that that market is going to value your service and probably already does. So some agencies, they even combine lead generation and recruiting because when the market's down, companies need customer. When it's booming, they need talent. So that combo right there, it not only, diversifies your revenue streams, but it also keeps you recession proof, at least in a pre-AGI labor market. Ultimately, choosing a niche based on current market demands not only provides immediate opportunities, but also leaves room for some sort of strategic pivots as the market dynamics evolve for you. And remember, the best niche isn't just the one with the most potential. It's the one that aligns with your guys' skills and your interests and unique insights. And that's where you can truly excel. Ultimately, specialization, it just allows you to deliver more value, building deeper relationships, and standing out in an already crowded market. So it's not just about chasing a mythical perfect niche per se. It's about using real world logic to target a growing market with tangible returns and proven spending habits. So this practical approach, I would say, puts you ahead of 90% of people stuck in analysis paralysis, as I call it. Identify your competitive advantage. So this is going to be my favorite part. So we all have something that gives us some sort of edge, something that might even feel like a shortcut or cheating, but it's really just about leveraging your unique strengths. So in economics, we call this a comparative advantage. It's the factor that's going to set you apart from the competition. And let me just break this down really quick. First, let's look at network and business accessibility. So your existing connection can be clear gold mine for you. For example, built-in test environment. So perhaps your parents own a medical practice or a close friend runs a gym. So this isn't just a coincidence, it's a direct line to potential clients and real world feedback for you. Also, referral opportunities. So when you have trusted contacts, they can offer you invaluable insights or even better, refer you to prospects within that particular niche. But anyways, just transitioning from your network, let's just explore how experience factors into your own advantage. Within experience, your background isn't just a part of your resume. It's actually a competitive asset for you. Why that might be is one, with this industry insight. So if you've spent years in a specific sector, like something super niche, like pharmaceutical consulting, you already understand the challenges, the constraints, and opportunities unique to that particular market. So this expertise, it just lets you design solutions that are both relevant and practical for you. It also credibility. So experience builds trust. So clients are just going to be more inclined to work with someone who has a proven track record rather than someone with an unknown quantity. Moving on from experience, let's consider the role of personal passion and interests. So your genuine fascination with a particular area can be a complete game changer for you. Why this is because one, you're going to go the extra mile. When you're truly passionate about something, let's say AI chatbots, you're naturally driven to learn more and innovate and refine your approach. And this dedication, it's not only improving your service, but it also resonates with clients who see your enthusiasm. So, I mean, for me in particular, I love AI. I love just like staying on the forefront and learning new things about AI, whatever it may be. I also love entrepreneurship, anything about business. So I'm more than happy to work 70 hours doing what I do because I truly love it. This passion, it's going to help you weather the ups and downs of building any sort of business. So it's really just the fuel that keeps you engaged with the challenges that may arise. Hopefully there's not going to be many challenges for you, but that's not the way the game of life is typically played. But anyways, let's just put this all together. So by leveraging these three pillars, network accessibility, experience, passion, you're going to create a unique combination that positions you as some sort of specialist than a generalist. In this specialization, if you don't understand by now, it's crucial and even critical because, you're standing out. So in a crowded market, clients are drawn to experts who truly understand their specific needs. Not only that, but you build trust faster and you can scale more efficiently. Ultimately, just identifying your comparative advantage, it's not just about listing your strengths out. It's about integrating them into some sort of coherent strategy that informs pretty much everything from your market messaging to your service delivery. And with this approach, you're not only better equipped to attract your ideal clients, but you're also setting the stage for some long-term success and growth within your company. But now that you have clearly identified what makes you unique, let's just move on to discussing how to be specific yet scalable. Finding that sweet spot between focus and growth. I call this the holy grail. How might you stay super targeted, but not just get locked in some sort of tiny box? And I'm so glad that you asked because finding the balance between being laser focused and allowing room for growth is actually the secret sauce of a thriving agency. Here's how you can achieve that. Staying targeted while allowing expansion. So your niche should be narrow enough to let you speak directly to your ideal client, yet it should also be broad enough to provide some sort of flexibility for you. And for instance, consider combining lead generation with recruiting services. So we have this downturn scenario. When the market slows, businesses are going to scramble to acquire new customers, and your expertise in lead generation becomes their lifeline, if you will. Also, we have the boom scenario. So conversely, when business is booming, companies need to scale their teams quickly. So your recruiting services can step in and actually help them grow. So this dual approach, it allows you to pivot based on market conditions without just diluting your specialized focus. So you still have that specific vertical. Now, building repeatable systems and leveraging technology. So a scalable business, it thrives on efficient, repeatable processes. So by standardizing your workflows, you're not only streamlining your operations, but you're also setting a pretty solid foundation for growth. So just really quick, consider these key points. So use digital tools to automate client onboarding and reporting and feedback loops. So, I mean, of course, this isn't just only going to speed up your operations, but it'll also give you some sort of data-driven insights to fine-tune your service and, critique them and see how you could be making them even better. Also within process optimization. So just continuously review and tweak your systems. So a proven blueprint, it can be adapted slightly for each and every client, making your scaling process both efficient and effective for you guys. Now, you'll want to expand methodically. So a well-defined niche today, it can serve as the launchpad for expansion tomorrow. So once you've actually nailed your core service, just think about if you excel at lead generation for dental offices, we could maybe gradually branch out into other healthcare segments with similar customer acquisition challenges. And you'll also want to stay current with the technology trends and client feedback to just introduce complementary services, over time. So without overextending your brand. So real world success, it's not just about scaling quickly, it's about sustainable growth. So you'll also want to keep these in mind. And I promise I'm not trying to overbear you guys. So you'll want to monitor the client acquisition costs, the conversion rates, and client satisfaction scores to just ensure that your systems are always going to be delivering results for you. And on top of that, with market changes, so should your strategies. If a particular service isn't resonating as expected, to say the least, then just be ready to pivot or at least refine your offering. So just always be prepared to adapt. With this scalable, yet I would say specific framework in place, you're well prepared to consolidate your strategy and also build a business that's going to be focused and flexible. Now, let's put all of this together. So I just want to wrap up everything into, some sort of comprehensive strategy so you guys can be on your way. So the first one being niching down is non-negotiable. Choosing a specific niche, it helps you avoid the pitfalls of being, a jack of all trades, if you will. It enables you to hone your expertise and deliver consistent high quality results, that are going to be free from operational drag, that may require you trying to serve everybody and doing everything all at once. Your agency scope matters. You'll want to also clearly define your industry and the problem solution focus. So this foundation, it shapes your marketing, your messaging, and service delivery, just ensuring that you're targeting the right audience from the get-go. Also, just forget and throw perfect out the window. So there isn't a one size that fits all type of niche. Instead, you'll just want to focus on some sort of growing markets with tangible returns and proven spending habits. So this practical approach, I'm telling you right now, it beats chasing a mythical ideal any day of the week. Also, leverage your comparative advantage. So your unique strengths, whether it's your network, your experience, your personal passion for something, these are going to be your secret weapons. Highlight these to actually build some sort of trust and differentiate yourself from the generalists that are already out there. You'll also want to be specific but flexible. So develop repeatable systems that deliver consistent results while leaving room to actually innovate and expand. So just use technology to optimize processes, track your success, and really adjust your strategies as needed. You can iterate later. And last but not least, measure and adapt. So sustainable growth, it comes from monitoring key metrics and being ready to adjust your approach. And even regular evaluation, client feedback can ensure that your business evolves in line with the market trends. In essence, combining these elements creates a robust and dynamic framework for your AI automation agency or AI development company, whatever you want to call it. So with some sort of clear focus and a scalable structure and the agility and ability to adapt, I promise you, you're well equipped to deliver exceptional value and drive long-term success. But now that you have a complete actionable strategy, it's time to actually take these insights and apply them to your agency, to your company. So just focus on what matters and remain flexible and really just watch your business evolve with both precision and pace. I promise. I'm really quick, just wanted to mention that I'm also doing some small group mentoring these days. So if you're serious about getting started as an AI and automation consultant and you need some sort of guidance, hit me up. We're picky about who we take on, but if it's a fit, it can be a total game changer. But anyways, you can find the link down below for checking that out and applying. But that's all for now. Just thank you guys for sticking around, and I will catch you guys in the next video. So go out there, crush it in whatever niche you guys pick. Thanks, everyone.